You have found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. On today's episode, me and Pat are going to discuss the details of the NBA's inaugural in-season tournament. We're going to go on to talk about the Bulls' schedule in that and ask, can they win and come out their group to win that inaugural in-season tournament? And lastly, we're going to catch up on something that we did not talk about, and that's Terry Taylor getting the final roster spot on the Chicago Bulls. We'll get into all that and more right after this.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central. And Pat, we finally have the full details now of the NBA's in-season tournament. So we already knew about it breaking down into group play. Each team is only going to play 4 games in that group stage, 2 home, 2 away. The group stage games are going to be held on Tuesdays and Fridays in the month of November. The top team from each group advances to the knockout stage. Then at that point, the best team from each conference not to make it to the knockout stage gets put in as a wild card. That's going to bring it to 8 teams. The 22 teams that do not advance to the knockout stage will get season games added to their schedule so that they can hit the 82 game barrier there. And then the quarterfinals are going to go down on my birthday weekend. That's December 4th and 5th. I got to, throw in a little shameless plug there. They're going to go down 4th and 5th, and then the semifinals and the finals are going to go down on December 7th and 9th, and that's going to happen in Las Vegas. Each player on the winning team gets $500,000, and then $200,000 to the team that comes up to the runner-up. Now that we have those details, Pat, me and you talked about like how trying to add like a little bit of value to regular season games, which this may do. How do you feel about the details now of that tournament?
Cool. You know what I mean? Like it's still regular season games. It's cool to have them. Like, and we're adding something to the tournament. We're giving NBA players $500,000. NBA players fart $500,000, bro. Like I'm not worried about like I don't know. I want to be excited for this. I want to see what it is. It's cool to have this tournament style thing, but what you're giving these guys, I don't feel like this is going to be a very competitive thing. I don't feel like this is going to turn into the tournament that they think it is. I think in the long run, it may end up becoming that, right? But I just think this first season is just going to be something different. And you already know what's going to happen by the end of it. Some team that's not supposed to win it or that we didn't think was going to win it is going to end up getting a win. At the end of the day, they're going to say, this is cool, but our main focus is to go into the playoffs and be able to win, a championship. And so we're really focused on that. Like we already know what this is. Like it's cool to see, that the NBA is trying its best to make the regular season interesting, but I still don't think that this is the way to do it.
I mean, look, I will say this, like, it sounds more convoluted than what it is as far as like having the groups and things like that. Like it makes it interesting a little bit, I guess. But like, I even said this over on Central, like to me, okay, cool. Like, I guess I got to see it. Like, if these players show up and all of a sudden it becomes like this big thing, which the Commissioner's Cup over in the WNBA has slowly turned into something over the last few years, which the Commissioner's Cup game just went down last night. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, Pat, but the Liberty absolutely waxed the Aces for the second time in a row with those teams played. But it just... I think that the semifinals and the quarterfinals, the semifinals and the finals are going to feel like something different because it's in Vegas. They go to it's held in one specific location. That may have a chance to, but the cup games, the group games, it's just a regular season game with a little bit extra oomph added to it. And I don't think like it's going to feel like anything different, not this first year at least.
Here's the tough part about it, right? Like, I feel like these games are very much like you said, right, with the Commissioner's Cup over in the WNBA. Those games end and we go, oh, yeah, this was for the Commissioner's Cup.
Yeah.
That's how I feel this is going to go, right? We're going to get to the end of the game. We're going to probably be 2 games into this, right? We'll be on the, what is it, the Nets, right? The Nets is our second game, I believe, or something like that. And we're going to be like, oh, yeah, we're like 2-0 in the in-season tournament. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's a gimmick. You came up with a gimmick that has no implications on anything. You're going to give somebody a shiny trophy. It'll probably still look better than what the WNBA is offering for the Commissioner Cup trophy, right? Because I didn't even see, is the trophy bigger this year?
They did make the trophy bigger this year, so thank God for that.
Trophy this year.
They did
Are
upgrade
you telling me Kathy Engelbert spent $200 on the trophy this year? My boy, we all pitched in on a fantasy football trophy. It cost $175. It sits this tall.
That's hilarious.
You gave him a teacup. But yeah, I mean, like you picked it up at the dollar store on the way there. But anyway, it's one of those things for me where like I want to be interested in this. I do, but like I like the concept of it. Here's the thing. I said this on the breeze yesterday when we talked about this when the games came out. What the future of this could be, I believe, is going to be bright because I do believe that Adam Silver's just trying to ease his way into this, making the regular season interesting. You can't just come out and say, oh, my God, this has playoff implications first year. But I do think that we'll get to a point with a tournament like this where it is very much like something that we see in European soccer, FIBA, all of that, where there's playoff implications on this. I just think we're at the beginning of this, and it's just tough for me to care early on.
Bro, this is the thing. I don't think this will ever. I know you have that hope. You've held that out since we've talked. I know you've been consistent with that. I have zero hope that even in the next 10 years this is going to have any like. This is the thing that I just want to see happen just because I'm a anarchist and I'm the Joker in real life. I can't wait to a team that wins the in-season tournament doesn't make the playoffs.
Oh, dog.
Most
of the teams that are going to win the in-season tournament aren't going to make the playoffs.
I wouldn't say not most of them aren't going to make the playoffs. Some can make I think most will make the playoffs. I just can't wait till like literally a team just gets hot at the right time and they win this in-season tournament. And then like the rest of the season, they win like 5 games, kind of like the Chicago Bulls a couple years ago. Right. And then that's it.
I think that's what we head towards, though, right? Because the teams that are going to care are going to be the Orlando Magic. It's going to be the where's Pat Bev now? Wherever Pat Bev ends up going to.
Come on, bro. Pat Bev
he's gonna be an MVP. He's gonna be an MVP. In-season tournament MVP. Jersey flying in the stands.
This may bring Nico Mirotic back to the NBA because now Nico is he's gonna have the most in-season tournament championship wins and do the November Nico thing and literally suck the rest of the season. Man, you might as well go ahead and come back to the NBA, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, listen, I'm gonna be there for the in-season tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to a point where at this point it's already a gimmick. Invite teams to be a part of the tournament from other countries. All right, this is how you bridge it, right? Bring Team Brazil up in this mug. Leandro Barbosa's still out here hooping. Bring him back. Yeah, I mean, the Brazilian blur. I don't know, man. Like, this is one of those things for me where, yeah, I hope that it pans out. It seems like it's a gimmicky concept. I hope to be proven wrong. But I had somebody in the comments, right? They said, listen, I knew you wouldn't be a fan of this because you're not a fan of the play-in tournament. And yes, I'm not fans of things that that basically say, hey, at the end of the day, we don't really care about the regular season. We just kind of like you can win 40 games. We just want to give trophies away. I'm not fans of this is a participation thing for me. There are teams in the league that suck and they're going to suck. And you want to be able to give them an award because they're going to get hot at the right moment.
Is there any group in this that you look at and you say, this is going to be a pretty interesting group because of the talent in it?
Let me pull up all the groups here.
To me, Group A in the West, that's Memphis is in that group. Phoenix Suns are in that group. The Los Angeles Lakers, Utah Jazz, and Portland Trailblazers are in that group. Now, the Trailblazers you kind of throw off there, but you absolutely know this is the exact type of environment Marko Simonovic is going to thrive in.
Cook.
He's gonna Marko in group play is going to average 30 and 16. Just watch.
Let's see. East A is 76ers, Cavs, Hawks, Pacers, Pistons. That is terrible. B, Knicks, Bucks, Heat, Washington Hornets. That's not good either. The Bulls actually might. Well, no,
we'll
Toronto,
talk about that in a second.
The Nets, the Bulls, Magic. That's the mid. I guess B is the best in the East. It's not great. I feel like they took the same teams that they did the rivalries with the rivalries week, and they was just like, hey, things that don't make sense, let's put that together.
Well, here's the thing.
Here's the thing. You know what you did? Remember I talked about bringing back divisions, making divisions important. You just made divisions. All you did was put divisions together.
You're silly. You're silly. Next up, though, we're going to talk about the Bulls schedule specifically because I do think that the Bulls group is going to be interesting because of how the teams match up. Are all those teams kind of questionable? Yes, but I like the matchups there. We're going to talk about that coming up next. Before we get into that, I got to talk to you guys about one of our sponsors, and that is FanDuel. Football season is about to kick off, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win all season long because right now, when you bet on Super Bowl winner, you get bonus bets every single time that team wins in the regular season. Just pick any team to win the Super Bowl, and you'll get bonus bets for every single victory. You can use your bonus bets on spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and start earning bonus bets with America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. All right, Pat. So we got to talk about our Bulls, of course, specifically in their group. Say they are in a group with the Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets, Toronto Raptors, and Orlando Magic. Respectively, our records against those teams last year were we were 2-2, I think, against the Brooklyn Nets, I believe. We were 2-2 against the Toronto Raptors. We're actually 3-1 against the Brooklyn Nets. I think we split as well with the Boston Celtics, and we had a losing record, 1-3 against the Orlando Magic. What do you get? What is the percentage chance you're giving the Chicago Bulls to come out of this group?
They're gonna win. They're gonna win the whole freaking thing, and all of a sudden, Bulls fans are gonna be like, "The in-season tournament is implicated." It means nothing. They're gonna win. This is the type of thing the Bulls win. You want to know why? Because of what you just said. We were 3-1 versus the Nets. 3 of those games with Kevin Durant. We were 2-2 versus the Celtics. We were 2-2 versus the Raptors, and we were 1-3 versus the doggone Magic. This is the type of games that the Bulls win. I expect the Bulls to compete well in the in-season tournament. When they dropped the game, the games yesterday, and kind of how the order was gonna go, and I looked at it and I was like, wow, the Bulls really might go 4-0 in that stretch because now you're putting a importance to those games that maybe wasn't there before. And listen, if anything follows the play-in suit, right? If Billy Donovan doesn't take Andre Drummond and Kobe White out, we probably knock out the Miami Heat in the playoffs. We're gonna go out and win.
I mean, listen, the Bulls have fared pretty well except for the Magic, pretty well overall over the last couple of years with those teams. Now, there are changes on each one of those teams. The Boston Celtics now have Kristaps Porzingis. The Brooklyn Nets are a much younger team. We've seen the Bulls struggle with those young, scrappy teams that have depth before. The Toronto Raptors have a new coach. And then the Orlando Magic, they're the Orlando Magic. We know they have our number for some reason. And Wendell Carter, when he sees the Bulls on the schedule, he all of a sudden turns into Shaq. We'll see. But I'm looking at this, and I think that this group is going to be interesting because I do think the level of play is similar between all these teams. Of course, Boston Celtics are going to be a favorite to be in the East every single year. They're going to struggle in the playoffs every single year. But with that said, but I look at this and I say that this group is going to be a fun group to watch. I think all 4 of these games for the Bulls are going to be fun games to watch, but I would have said that even if they were regular season games. And I do think that if nothing else, especially with DeMar DeRozan being on now, getting ready to go on his Hall of Fame run, go ahead and add a couple of in-season tournaments to your accolades. Why not?
You know what I mean? Javon Carter's going to go off for 50 in every one of these games, bro. We going and it's gonna mean nothing. But I guess here's the thing, right? Seeing the Bulls be a part of the Vegas part that does come in, that'll be pretty cool to see if they're able to win that thing out. I think that's something that if the Bulls go to Vegas, we're going. Put the call in to Locked On right now. We'll be there.
Locked On ain't sitting us there. We have to fund it ourselves. Oh, don't worry about that.
Ooh. But yeah, it's one of those things to me where it'll be fun to be a part of it. It'll be fun to be a part of the first one. I think the Bulls will be in competition for it. I don't know if the rest of the teams are going to care, right? Like the Bulls are the type of team that'll be there, right? Guess who else? The Atlanta Hawks, probably. The Pacers. I could see the Blazers finding their way in there if they get it right. The New Orleans Pelicans, the first year with Wemby, you know they're gonna be calling stuff for the Spurs to be a part of it because the first year of the tournament we want to see Wemby. If Wemby gets in, he's winning it.
Hey, if Wemby gets into the in-season tournament finals his first rookie year, it's like I'm over it. I'm over it. Like
he's
at that point,
it. You know what's coming, right? And so I heard this today. I reserve my right to be pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about this.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be, like I said, the semifinals and the finals, I do think are going to be fun. I do think that those are going to be fun games. I think because once you fly a team out, they're in Vegas on that stage. Listen, Adam Silver is playing 3D chess once again because we all know that they're prepping Vegas to have a team. So they're going to do as much in Vegas as they can to really prep that city to have its own basketball team. But
which is the dumbest thing at this point. Do we not know that Vegas has a market? The Raiders stadium is full and they're garbage. It's a really nice stadium, though. It's a really nice stadium.
Yeah.
They have a hockey team that just won the Stanley Cup. And when I tell you, you would think, right, like, oh, it's a hockey team. No, they were losing their minds. I'm sitting in a random bar watching hockey midday and it's packed. I'm like, we in Vegas right now. Y'all sitting in here like they in the Stanley Cup. Yeah. So we don't need the test. Just put a team there. Tell LeBron buy in. Tell him hurry up and retire. We know that's who's going to own it. And then we're going to call it a day, right? He's got to play for him for a year, though, right? He's got to go to Jordan route. That's how it goes.
No, Bronny's going to be the one there. Like, you know what's so funny, too, is that LeBron James is waiting to play with his son when we all know Bronny is about to be the 50th pick in that draft. Bronny sucks, bro. You can play. I will not allow you to be political on this topic. Bronny James is cheeks.
He don't suck.
He's trash, bro.
He don't suck. Nah, he can play, but he's not what they've hyped him up to be. He's not one of the top 10 players in the country right now.
He's not one of the top 50 players in the country.
Nah, he's top 50.
He's not top 50, bro. No, he's not. No,
he's not gonna be his dad though. Like, there's no chance.
He's not gonna be Jordan's sons, much less his dad. Like,
what's your hate with Bronny right now?
He's trash, bro. Watch what I say. Mark my words. The only difference between Bronny James and Jello Ball is that LeBron is his dad, and he's gonna get in the NBA because of that. And the team's gonna draft him because they want LeBron to come to play with their team. Other than that, Bronny ain't gonna be nothing, bro.
I think Bronny James is gonna be a nice little role player in the NBA. I don't think
would you like to place a wager on that?
Sure, whatever.
Well, that's a side topic off that.
At the end of the day, I don't really care about Bronny James either. But like,
you see the Bulls draft him, and LeBron James comes here to play 2 years with the Bulls before he retires. That would be that's a power play by AK right there. It's like, we're gonna go ahead and draft Bronny.
No, don't do that.
No, he's gonna be a good role player. Why not? No,
listen. Because here's the thing. I don't want to draft role players no more. I'm sick of this. We drafted enough of them. We got nothing but role players. What do these players do? Roll. That's all they got. You know what I mean? I don't want to see none of that. You know what
I mean, listen. But off that, so what? Get back on the Bulls here. As we finish this segment. What percentage, like realistic percentage, are you giving the Bulls to be able to come out of this group and go into the knockout round?
To come out of it?
Yeah, to come out of this group. Not necessarily go into the semifinals or finals, but to come out of this group and get into those quarterfinals.
I get a Bulls a 70% chance. I'm pretty confident. I don't believe in any of these teams. I don't believe in the Boston Celtics either. I just think that they're the same. And I think they're going to care the least out of anybody in this group. So I get the Bulls a high percentage chance on this because one, the Bulls know how to play the Celtics. They match up well with the Celtics, really well with the Celtics. These are the games that the Celtics are probably going to care the least about. So, like, you lose a game to the Nets, you lose a game to Toronto, you lose a game to Orlando. They don't care. And it's early enough in the season that they're not even trying yet.
See, that's the thing. Well, you see because teams get ramped up. Some teams do start getting ramped up about the end of November, which that's when at least the semifinals, that would be December when the semifinals and stuff start kicking in. So, and then you see a lot of teams too, they don't start caring at the end of the season. So like you have those middle 2.5 months of the season where teams do care. You get. Yeah. So
So I think the Bulls are going to come out.
You know what? That's what we just found it out. The in-season tournament marks when teams are officially going to start, like the championship game. That's when teams are going to start caring after that.
Yeah,
that's put you around mid-December. That's when teams are going to care for a little while.
But here's the thing: you have to be in it, and the championship game doesn't mean anything.
I'm not saying for the tournament. I'm just saying that once that tournament ends, that marks basically when the actual season starts.
When teams start caring. Oh, for sure. 100%. Yeah, all of a sudden it's just gonna be like, hey man, I guess we should start playing basketball now. Maybe we should play Kawhi Leonard next week.
I mean, hey, you never know. Kawhi Leonard is never healthy, bro. You can never bet on that.
Bro, that's the funny part. He was healthy a good chunk of last season. The Clippers just said, we don't care about the regular. That's why they're doing this. The NBA made it so the NBA teams do not care about the regular season. That's the only reason you have to come up with a tournament or something stupid like this, because literal teams went, we have no reason to play our players. Yes, we're going to pay him $150 million this year. To do what? Sit right there. Then the playoffs got here and he still wasn't ready to go. That's a whole nother thing, though. It is what it is.
Hey, listen, Kawhi, listen, if you get 45 or more games out of Kawhi, that's a successful season for him, bro.
Hey, man, look.
He played 52 last season, so there you go.
He's never going to win an MVP again.
Oh, no, never.
He'll never play more than 65 games on the Clippers. Now, if he goes somewhere else, maybe, but like he'll never win an MVP again.
No, it's done. All right, moving right along. Last topic of the day, something that we missed over the course of the week. Terry Taylor gets that 15th spot for the Chicago Bulls. Now they do have a while. They don't have to guarantee Carlik Jones' contract until the 16th of October. So they could potentially still come off that deal if they need to open up another roster spot. The minimum for Terry Taylor puts the Bulls about $100,000 over the luxury tax, kind of officially. That's kind of estimated with what they expected to sign him, but they can work out some things. I don't see them paying a $10 million tax bill to sign Terry Taylor at the vet minimum, but anything like, what are you thinking about Terry Taylor? We know small guy, small forward, but he rebounds extremely well for his size. He gets active. He gives that energy. He's that type of player. I think he played about 16 games for the Bulls last season. He did in 6 games in the Windy City Bulls, averaged over 20 points per game. I don't think we're going to ever see that scoring at the NBA level. What do you think about Terry Taylor coming to the Chicago Bulls officially now, not on a 2-way contract, as that final full guaranteed contract?
I mean, I wanted to see it, right? Like, I wanted to see what he's gonna be, but like, I feel the same question marks that we have about half of these guys, right? And the same thing I have about Carlik Jones, the same question marks that we have about Patrick Williams, the same question mark. Like, there's nothing but question marks on your bench right now, and Terry Taylor's probably gonna just be another one of those, because more than likely we're not gonna see him get on the court for this team. Like, if we see Terry Taylor on the court for this team, things went wrong. Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of things that went wrong because he's small. And Tony East from Locked On Pacers talked about him when we ended up signing him. He said, you guys just got the best small rebounder in the NBA. You know, we'll see how the Bulls are going to utilize him. And they didn't. You know what I mean? Like, he was a guy that got in at the end of games sometimes. He kind of just existed on the team. Would you rather see him or Justin Lewis? Right, like that's kind of where you at. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I'd rather see Justin Lewis because I'd rather see Julian Phillips play before he plays, just because it's
you actually drafted him?
Julian Phillips, absolutely, huh?
I said because we actually drafted him.
Well, yeah, because we actually drafted him. So, and basically, I just want to be clear here, because you said that we have a bunch of question marks. So, are you saying that this should be Billy Donovan's suit on the sidelines, is because we have so many question marks on the team that he might as well just come out in full Riddler garb? Is that what we're saying?
Even go Jim Carrey. You could have got a Jim Carrey Riddler.
I didn't. I know. I don't want Jim Carrey. I'm good on Jim Carrey.
All right. No, I'm saying that should be the Chicago Bulls jersey.
That should be the jersey. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, listen, what do you have in Adama Sanago? What do you have in Justin Lewis? What do you have in Patrick Williams? What do you have in Kobe White? What do you have in Ayo Dosunmu? What do you have in Julian Phillips? What do you have in Dalen Terry? What do you have like I'm at 7, 8 names, dog, and I just stopped naming people because I can't figure the rest of them right now. But like, realistically, there's only 15 people on the team.
So basically, this I got what you're saying.
There you go.
So,
That's a better one.
This is
Come on,
when people say Billy Donovan, what adjustments are you going to make? This is the move that Billy Donovan should do. He literally should do this exact pose. Just a little bit, bro. Just a little bit.
He looks like Billy a little bit.
Just a little bit, man. just saying.
That's funny, dog. Wait, was that Cristiano Felicio's face behind him in that picture? Is that what that was? Is that Felicio's face sitting behind him in that? Look at Felicio. What are you doing in there, brother? Get out of here.
Oh man, that is actually. We got to double it up, and we got to put Jerry at the top because.
Oh, Jerry, what are you doing up there, Jerry?
This is what Jerry wants.
I thought Felicio was in Brazil playing Build a Trollop. But
Build a Trollop?
Oh, you ain't seen the upgrade? You haven't seen the upgrade? I thought that's what he was playing.
Oh man.
If you know, you know. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you know, you know. Because the difference from the beginning before the 36 mil to the after 36 mil, that was an upgrade.
That's hilarious.
That's tough, man. But yeah, man. Like it's cool to see Terry Taylor get a contract, be a part of this team. Realistically, I hope we never see him on the court.
And that's what I like. If everything goes right, we won't see a single Terry Taylor and Carlik Jones are glorified. They might as well put them in Benny the Bull suits as well. Like just have a couple of extra mascots out there.
It's like we're signing these guys because AK wants to compete in the G League as well.
Oh
like,
yeah, you know
what I mean? That's
you got
really
the G League MVP and Carlik Jones, right? You add Terry Taylor in there, who averages over 20 points per game in the G League. Yeah. You're still throwing in Ernolat Bitsum. Like that's the biggest G League signing of the offseason. Like, hey, we got Windy City Bulls.
I didn't even mention him. Ernolat Bitsum. You know what I mean?
We definitely got the G League title coming this year, bro. It's happening.
Jesus. Right.
We're gonna have an A title to celebrate in Chicago at least. So
Bitsum might actually be playing. He might be.
Yeah, I think before the end of the season, Bitsum's gonna be on that.
Bitsum's gonna be on the contract. I think by the end of this year, Terry Taylor's not gonna have a contract. And Bitsum or Carly.
They're just gonna flip flop him. That's
Carly Jones out here, bro. I don't know.
But yeah, so we just wanted to catch up and follow up on that because we didn't get a chance. But Pat, anything left, man, before we about to get up out of here, man?
Nah, man, I'm just still tripping on the fact that we can get away with half the stuff that we say. Hey, follow us on everything in Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Appreciate y'all for showing love. Check out buildthetrollop.com.
Carlik Jones' head is really built on the slope. Like he got the slope to the left like Gumby, but it's his actual skull that shape. Like, you know how his mama just didn't try to shape his head at all. They just didn't care. But you guys can follow me at CEO Haize, the CEO Haize. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening to another episode of Locked On Bulls and making us your first listen every single day. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This has been Locked On Bulls, man. And we out of here before we get fired. Peace, y'all.
Peace. I need alcohol in this studio. Look at his head ambidextrous.